It is now time for weather with Nebraska Extension Ag Climatologist and Market Journal Chief Meteorologist Al Dutcher. Well, Al, with Thanksgiving now in the books, how are things looking as we turn to the months ahead?
Well, Bryce, I hope everybody out there had a good holiday weekend. And of course, as we look forward in time, the biggest concern has been all the dry weather. Now, we're taping this a little bit early due to the university shutdown for the holidays. So I thought this would be the appropriate time, instead of giving a weather forecast, just kind of giving an update on the soil moisture status across the state, which is very poor, and take a look at some of the newest CPC releases in terms of the 30-day and the last of the official winter forecast releases. So first thing I'll draw your attention to is that since October 1st, which we kind of define as the start of our soil moisture recharge season, you can see that much of western Iowa and eastern Nebraska sitting with 2 to 3 inch deficits in terms of precipitation. And then we see a large expansive area in the eastern Corn Belt. Now, this area here, of course, is due to some of the drier conditions during the first 3 weeks of October, but since then we've started to see a pretty significant increase in precipitation. So if the trend continues here, much of this will be eliminated well before we get to the spring period. We zero in on Nebraska even further. We see that a large area from south central through east central Nebraska running precipitation deficits well in excess of 2 inches. So to give you an idea, we typically see about 1.5 inches or so in the northwest corner, to close to 3 inches in the southeast corner during the winter period. So in order for us to make up these deficits, we need nearly double the winter precipitation. We won't expect to see it all this time of the year, but we hope that we would see some of this increase in terms of precipitation during the winter period and then make up some of these deficits as we get into the spring period. So from CPC standpoint, the newest release is in terms of the December forecast is increasing below normal temperatures to our north, keeping the warmth to our south, and in terms of precipitation, starting to see an expansion of the above normal moisture across the northwestern United States. And that's in response to an expectation that we'll see some significant troughing action developing during the first 2 weeks of the month, particularly across the northwest and into the southwest. And from there, it really boils down to whether these systems move eastward or northeastward. And the recent trend has been a lot of this energy moving across to the south of us. So we'll see whether or not that verifies out. Looking even farther for the remainder of the winter, December, January, and February, a fairly significant area below normal temperatures from the Pacific Northwest all the way to the western Great Lakes. Most of the southern half of Nebraska is in this equal chances, so kind of have a channel between the very warm and the very cool conditions. So we'll watch to see whether or not this signifies that we'll see some increasing storm activity over the Central Plains. And in terms of precipitation, very wet conditions across the northern plains and the Great Lakes. Unfortunately, just a little bit drier conditions to our south. So time will tell.